Hello everyone, Darren the Ghost Guy here, and as promised, late, I'm going to tell the story of the time me and Rodney Moore was chased down Highway 275 at the intersection of Highway 2 and Junction 46 that went into Riverton, I believe. If you took Highway 2, you would end up going into Nebraska City. 275 ran between Hamburg and Sydney, so at this place where I stupidly ran out of gas was halfway. Like 5 miles this way to town, 5 miles this way to town, 5 miles that way to a town. Nebraska City was a long ways away. That was like 15, 20 miles away. So we're sitting there for a minute, wondering what to do, and something comes up out of the woods there from the Wabansie area, and we're facing towards Hamburg past the Highway 2 cutoff there. There's a lot of lights, dangerous intersection, and we get on the floorboards, how I remember it. You see my head shaking, that Parkinson's. But doors got locked except one, and I was afraid to lock it because it was standing close and I thought I might hear it. But part of the window was down just a little ways and it was reaching in, trying to grab shit. And I was handing it garbage off the floorboard, beer cans, soda cans, pop bottles, whatever, and it throw shit away. And went back up in the hills, went back up into towards the Wabansie area. You know, I'm surprised, a little side note here, because where it headed is where the park ranger for the Wabansie State Park had a house that he lived in. Now, how this guy was oblivious to this, I don't know. I don't think he was. I think he was totally aware of it. So, decision is made. We're going to walk. We're going to walk towards Hamburg. His brother lives a couple miles away down the road. We can make it to there. We'll be all right. Then we start walking. We get down the road a little ways and turn back and look, and it's where we're at, it's dark, but where the car's at, it's kind of backlit from them street lights, and we could see a real tall figure standing there looking in the car, and it looks towards us. And it starts running towards us. Now, I don't know how far we are at the time, maybe a couple hundred yards, half a mile, I don't know. It's like this, the roads are rolling hills, right? Well, I thought I was in excellent condition because I just gotten out of the Army. I was in the National Guard, thought I was a stud. But we'd been out drinking. I got the fucking beer sloshing in my stomach. Now, Rodney Moore, he wasn't in the military, but he'd played football all his life. The guy that ran the football, the running back, I think they're called, I don't know. Excellent physical shape, could outrun me distance-wise and speed-wise, no problem. So he was way ahead of me. And I had to stop and puke. Ran as far as I could, I had to puke. Looked up, well, it stopped. Because I stopped. And then once I got done puking, it started running again. And Rodney, I think he was sitting there waiting on me at maybe 25, 30 yards away. I don't know, maybe he was next to me. It's a long time ago. So we take off running again, and this thing starts chasing us again. Run as far as I can, run as far as I can. I just can't run no more, you know, in the body. And I just stop, I gotta... And all of a sudden we hear... Thump, 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 from the dark. I'm fucking terrified. Thought we were gonna die. Couldn't see what it was. And it was this big horse charging us from way across this other cornfield. It's after harvest, you know, and they plow it up and let the crap decompose away and leftover stuff, you know, fertilize. And That was terrifying. But I don't know if the horse was thinking we were it was warning us, maybe it was trying to protect us, maybe it was going to attack us had that fence not been there to stop it. I don't know. So we got to Rodney Moore's brother's house. I'm not going to say his name. One, I don't have permission to use it, and two, I think I might not remember it correctly, but I do believe it starts with an R. And of course it's super late at night, and we're going around the house knocking on doors and peeking in windows and shit, in which you don't do that where we grew up. You'll end up with a extra hole in your head. And the reason I didn't end up with an extra hole in my head is because I happened to say Rodney's name when his brother was standing at the window with a big 44 Magnum this way. Rod, your brother's over here. And he came over there and said, "Let us in, you gotta let us in, something's chasing us, something's after us. What's after you?" I don't know, we don't have no idea what's after us. So we went in and passed out pretty quick. We're safe, we're wasted, we're just tired as hell. And I guess this thing, found out later, it had gotten into the dude's barn, Rodney Moore's brother's barn, or shed, whatever, destroyed a bunch of seed corn or feed corn and tipped over big barrels of things and got in his garden and kicked shit around, and the footprints were, well, I can't stretch that far. They were big. Now, I don't think it was trying to catch us. It could have caught us. It could have caught me, no problem. And I remember at one point going into a drainage tube that was just barely big enough for me to squirm in. I was, and hid there for a minute, played dead for a minute. But I don't think it was trying to catch us, because when I stopped running, it would stop running. It was more of leave my area and leave it soon. Now, the same area where I ran out of gas is where another individual coming back from Sydney ran off the road, picked up way down in this gully, and he lost it. He walked to town. He didn't get chased to town, but he couldn't remember where his pickup was, which was a hilarious story. It took him about 2 weeks to find it. Everybody says, "How'd you lose your pickup?" I don't know, man. Like, coming back, and I'm here, but I don't know where my pickup is. That's hilarious. But that son of a gun, that Bigfoot, that thing that chased us, I'm not saying it was a Bigfoot, but it was a Bigfoot. That was the big guy. You've heard me reference in other videos. I said there's the little ones, the swamp apes, and then there's some that are the big guy. This was the big guy. And I also mentioned the flood. If there was the flood on that Highway J46 that goes into Riverton, it's Highway 2, but I think it turns into J46 down there somewhere. But if it's flooded, that road's underwater by the Nishnabotna River by a long ways. I mean, you're not going to go across at the currents. You'd be stupid. So that town was closest. That town was only like 2 or 3 miles away, but I'm pretty sure it was flooded if it was springtime. Floods all the time, every year practically. Back then, in the 80s. But yeah, that was one of the most interesting things. Never really got close enough to get an eye-to-eye view with it. I think I was really close to it at one point when I was pretending to lay in the ditch after that horse freaked us out, and so, right, well, I'll catch up. I'm gonna hang out here and hide out here for a minute. Maybe it'll go away. And these things, it can be standing by the side of the road. You won't see them. You will not see them unless they want you to see them. It could have caught us within the first, our stride is running is maybe 3 feet. I'm 6'1", 2-ish maybe. A little shrinkage since I've gotten older. All the way around. Except my gut. So, the saying, if it was 8 feet tall, its stride's going to be double almost what a human is. So, for every 2 or 3 runs I'm making, it's only making 1 step. Boom, boom, boom. So, the thing could probably run 30, 40 miles an hour, maybe faster, But it chased us. Why it didn't, I don't think it wanted to kill us. I think they've evolved to know that if you make somebody go missing, there's gonna be a lot of people out looking for that person, unless you happen to be at Mount Shasta or Mount Rainier. It's my next door big mountain that's 40 miles as the bird flies. People go missing all the effing time. Now, back to the story. Darren the Ghost Guy. I'm on YouTube. I need subscribers. I need a lot of subscribers. I hope I did this story good. I've been thinking about it for a long time. I've had notes sitting in front of me of the highways, everything. I just don't remember the date. I believe at the time I was driving a Dodge Gold Duster. And then they call it the Duster and drive it down Rock Road that was back there. It would just suck all that dirt inside there somehow. And but I had a lot of garbage in there to hand out the windows, and went back up in the hills. We decided, okay, well, we got no choice. We can't stay here. If it comes back, what if it comes back with more people? Not running more, but more people. More foots. More Bigfoots. It's family. These are very territorial. The males, they probably maybe live in a family unit. I think the swamp apes absolutely live in a family unit. I think when the Bigfoot reaches adolescence, it's probably expelled from the family, just such as cats get rid of their kittens, or not get rid of them, they make them go their own way. Dogs, puppies, coyote, live in the pack, but with these things and primates, a little bit different. Now with the chimpanzees, it's a little different too. I'm no Jane Goodall, but I have a paper I've been working on for a couple of years. I thought it went tits up with my other research on Bigfoot, but I was able to save part of my transcript. Now, the damage this thing did to the I bounce back and forth a lot. I think it has a lot to do with my Parkinson's and the way my brain's not, things bouncing around. But I guess the damage it did to the guy's barn and garden was irreparable. I mean, it was repairable. They could fix the barn, absolutely, but the garden was finito. It was done. When he asked us what was after us, we didn't know. And, of course, we, as soon as we hit, eyes closed, we were out. The excitement was over. And then they didn't really talk about it much. I contacted him here recently, a while back, and asked him about it. And he told me that's one of his most cherished memories of a child, of our youth, And then that's when I'll reference back to Iwo Jima. People hang around me in the woods or someplace, something weird's going to happen. It is almost a guarantee. Why? I have no idea. If I go to the woods, deep woods, Bigfoot wants to find me. I don't know why. It's always been that way. The little fireflies that flash on and off that don't exist, they're not fireflies, wave them away, little spirits. But we're going to talk about all that more and more and more. And I'll bounce back topics, and, But I'm Darren the Ghost Guy, and I am on YouTube. I absolutely need subscribers. All comments are welcome. The latest comment, somebody I personally know told me that when I was making my videos, it looked like I was looking down at people instead of at people. Okay, well, I elevated my things, and hopefully now I'm not talking down at anybody. I'm talking to you. You know, I'm not doing all my hand things like some of the people do. I'd have to turn my phone sideways, and I don't do much talking that way. You know, it chases down the road, it could have caught us, and this and that, and I'm a politician, and I'm going to win this race, and either you do that stuff or you don't. Let me take a sip of my coffee. You see the shakes, like I use a sippy. My burden to bear. I'm Darren the Ghost Guy. Come see me on YouTube. Give special thanks to Rodney Moore for allowing me permission to use his name. Special shout out to him. I'm going to give a shout out to United States. They're my highest viewing, followed by Canada, and my third highest views come from this tropical subcontinent of India. And then I have some South Africa and some Philippines, and I think that's about it. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into this. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed creating it. I know I bounce back and forth. I apologize for that. Like I say, I'm new at this. The stories are going to get better. They're not stories, though. That's the thing. They're not stories. I tell them like they're stories, like they didn't like it's a story or urban legend or whatever. No, this is true. An urban legend would be the 4 sisters or the 6 sisters from Nebraska City. Now that's an urban legend. A lot of people think it's true. Some people say it never happened, but if you ever want to look up that legend, it's there to Google. I'm more into actual things that happen. So we're going to start talking a little more about the missing 411 phenomenon, where, 3 or 4 people are walking down the road and turn around, you're behind me, I walk another 30 feet or so, turn around and you're gone and you're never seen again. Ever. Nothing. Gone. Where do people go when it happens? I don't know. Another dimension? Did something scoop them up? Did they get beamed up? That flash? Did they just step into a porthole and now they're somewhere else? Maybe we should, everybody carry one of them Apple tracker things so when we go to the woods. No, let me bring you to that. People who go hiking in the Cascades, up around Mount Rainier and Mount Baker and the Shastas and all the ones we have up and down the west coast here, you are one of the biggest fools the earth has ever produced. You are asking for something in the woods to kill you. You always have a buddy system. Gotta have a buddy. Military goes ranger buddy. Got your ranger buddy. Somebody that's always with you. Got your back. Got your 6. The same way when you go to the woods, you gotta have somebody that's got your 6. Like I said before, we're not 2,000 years ago. We walk looking at the ground because we don't want to fall over the side of a hill. 2,000 years ago, people all they did look at was stare at the sky. Well, the problem with looking at the ground is all these scary things that want to kill you and eat you live up in the trees or can climb up in the trees, and that includes the dogman, cougars, and Bigfoot, the swamp apes or skunk apes. They can all climb. You go hiking by yourself, one of them things jumps down from a 15 feet high up in the air tree. It's already 9 feet tall, so it's not really falling very far. Ka-thump. You turn around and it makes one step. That's a 6 or 7 foot strike. Boom! It's got you. Or Leadlock, Alaska, or Port Chatham, Alaska. Anyway, I see I'm at 19 minutes and 50 seconds. I think it's time to be quiet, and I will make some more videos today. I don't know what about yet though, but Darren the Ghost Guy on YouTube, please subscribe.